What is going on, you guys? Today we're going to be covering an Ele Sham PvP guide in which we're going to be going over the talents, the PvP talents, the essences, and the Azurite armor. Before we hop into it, just want to say if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you don't like the video, hit the thumbs down and let me know why in the comments below. If you really like the video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Other than that, let's go ahead and hop into it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and hop into the talents. You got the level 15 tree, and that's really going to look like Earth and Rage and Echo of the Elements. Now, they both have their strong suits. Earth and Rage is going to give you that passive damage every time you cast a spell, every 6 seconds. It does proc off your dots, so your Flame Shock and your essences. And then Echo of the Elements is going to give you that additional charge of your Lava Burst. So if you have plenty of time to cast, if you're going to be going up against a comp that doesn't have a lot of pressure or silences, things like that, then Echo the Elements is a great skill, and I think probably, I don't know, 80% of the Ele Shaman crowd is going Echo of the Elements. The next one is the level 30 abilities, and that's going to be either Aftershock or Totem Mastery. Now I'm going to give you a brief explanation on those. Totem Mastery is going to give you 4 different passive buffs. I think it's going to increase your haste. It's going to increase, let's see here. So yeah, it increases your haste. It gives you some Maelstrom every 1 second. Your lightning bolts are going to have a 5% additional chance to overload. And of course it increases your flame shock damage. All of those are great buffs. My issue with it is you can range the buffs, and then you're going to have to spend a global having to reapply those buffs. And it's just one more thing you got to remember. I find myself playing Aftershock more. Aftershock, what that does is it's going to give you a 25% chance to refund some of the Maelstrom spent. So if I pair this up with my Memory of Lucid Dreams essence, I have had it, guys, I kid you not, where I'm casting 3, 4, and 5 Earth Shocks back to back to back to back. It is a ton of damage. It is a little bit RNG based, but we're in 8.3 and everything is RNG based. Moving on to the level 45 talents, you got Earth Shield and you got Spirit Wolf. Static Charge, just completely ignore that one. Earth Shield, this is your cookie cutter. This is good in all situations. It's going to give you some passive healing. I love this one going up against classes who have dots. I love this one going up against classes who have pets, because the pets will activate the shield even if I'm LOSing. Spirit Wolf is great for ruining openers against or openers against Rogue Mage. It's great against warriors that you're trying to kite, Death Knights specifically. Those you're really going to alternate between. Spirit Wolf has a place, Earth Shield has a place. I find myself going Spirit Wolf when I have a healer, and Earth Shield when I don't. Moving on to the level 60 talents, you got Master of the Elements. That's pretty much what you're going to want to go 10 times out of 10. It's going to give you a 20% additional damage increase on your frost damage or your nature damage every time you use a lava burst. So those instant procs, you're going to hit the lava burst. It's going to give you the buff. You're going to get 20% additional damage from your Master of the Elements. And then you're going to throw that into an Earth Shock. Or you're going to throw that into a Frost Shock if you're running the Ice Fury spec like I particularly like to. Moving on, you got the level 75 talent tree, Nature's Guardian. It is a staple in the Ele Shaman guide here. It's going to keep you alive because as an Ele Shaman, you're going to be the target most of the time for those teams, and it's going to, when your health falls below 35%, it's going to heal you for 20% of your life. And this cannot occur more than once every 45 seconds. So it's on less than a minute cooldown, and it is a huge defensive cooldown. So moving on to the level 90. Here you have Primal Elementalist and you have Ice Fury. Surge of Power. It's not as good as it once was. It does have some utility in there if you pair it with your Frost Shock, but I'm not going to get too much into that because the other options are just so much better. So you have the Primal Elementalist, and this is going to make your Fire Ellie do a lot more damage. Now this does come with a little bit of homework. You need to build in a macro so that you can get your meteor out. And with your Earth Elemental, this is the biggie. It's going to give you another damage mitigation. I want to say it's 40%. So you're going to want to make a macro for that. It can be used while you're stunned. So it's great for going ahead and popping the Earth Ellie while the mage is still in stealth. That way when he comes out, you can ruin his opener. It's also really nice. Again, you're going to have some homework here. You're going to need to make another macro for it. You, let's say you're going up against Mage Rogue. You get sapped by the Rogue. The Mage comes out and polys your partner. You don't want to blow the trinket. So he starts casting G-Pie on you. If your Earth Ellie is out, you can go ahead and tell him to go stun the mage, even if you are stunned, and ruin the opener. So Primal Elementalist, this is more of your cookie cutter right here. It is very, very good. Again, 8 out of 10 Ele Shamans are playing this. Ice Fury is amazing if you have a healer. If you don't have a healer, you really want to play the Primal Elementalist for the defensive cooldown. Ice Fury is going to increase the damage of your next 4 Earth Shocks by 200%, which stacks with Elemental Mastery. So that is Lava Burst. If you can get the stronger Earth Shock, you want to do that. If it's not available, go ahead and cast a stronger version of your Frost Shock. And when I play this, I find that my Frost Shocks are, if not my number 1 damage, they're my number 2 damage or my number 3 damage. So that being said, moving on to the level 100 abilities, Stormkeeper. Stormkeeper, Stormkeeper, Stormkeeper. That's what you want to play. It has an incredibly short cooldown for a offensive cooldown, only a 1-minute cooldown, which trumps the vast majority of defensive cooldowns. It does a fair amount of damage. So I've seen it do as little as 75k. I've seen it do as much as 150k. It all depends on your crits and your stats there. And those are your basic abilities, level 15 through 100 there. Let's go ahead and move on to PvP abilities. I should note that I am actually playing, one second here. I'm actually playing Conflict and Strife. So that gives me Lightning Lasso just kind of passively. I like playing Conflict and Strife because it gives me more versatility, and versatility keeps you alive, makes you do more damage, but it also allows me to pick 3 completely different PvP abilities. So if you're not running Conflict and Strife, Lightning Lasso, it's pretty much a staple. There are going to be very rare situations where you want to get away from it, but the ability to stun a target for 5 seconds and then deal an incredible amount of damage is just it's second to none. It's one of the best abilities in the game. Sky Fury, you're going to play this a lot. It's going to increase the damage by 20% of any crit from you or an ally within its range. It has a 40-yard range. So you want to pop this right before you cast your Stormkeeper. You want to pop this right before you get that big, juicy Earth Shock from your Master of the Elements here, guys. And then hope it crits, and then the damage is just going to light up the meters. This is also great with allies. You let's say you're paired with a Ret Paladin who does an insane amount of damage. You call the go over comms. You throw this down, he pops his wings and just one-shot somebody. So that's amazing. Obviously, it works great with fire mages as well. There's a little bit of controversy here. Counter-Strike Totem, in my opinion, is completely underrated. Very low cooldown. If you time it right, you can reverse a lot of damage. I have one-shot players sitting around 40% health who weren't paying enough attention. It's great to throw it down right at the end of a Chaos Bolt when you know you're going to get hit. It's great to throw it down right at the end of a G-Pie when you know you're going to get hit. And at a bare minimum, they're forced to get rid of this totem. So you can throw this totem down to take a little bit of pressure off yourself as well. Getting into the ones that I typically switch out to, I will go Traveling Storms. Reduces the cooldown. More importantly, allows you to cast it on an ally. This is great on certain maps. It's a situational ability, and it's great for peeling for your healers or your teammates, things like that. Make a mouse over macro for this, so you can just click on your ally and then use the ability. Control Lava, you're not going to play that much. Elemental Mass, nope. Purifying Waters, again, situational. Going up against a Resto Druid, it's useful. 3% of your life. It's like a 12 to 15,000 heal, assuming it doesn't crit. And it can be spammed. However, keep in mind that you are globaling yourself, so if you're getting the juice for the squeeze for this ability, you're also not putting out very much damage. Grounding Totem, I switch to this all the time. It's great for soaking up CC. It's great for soaking up G-Pies. It's great for soaking up Chaos Bolts. Grounding Totem, amazing ability. It has been since it's been in the game. 30-second cooldown. You can be very, very annoying to spellcasters with this ability. Swelling Waves, I do play this on occasion. LOS behind a pillar. Hit yourself for 2 or 3 heals. You're going to get 50% of those heals another 3 seconds after you cast them. It's a great way to top yourself off. Very, very good defensive cooldown. The Spectral Recovery, heal for 3% every 2 seconds. If you know you're going to be kiting a lot, if you know you're going to be in Ghost Wolf a lot, it's a great way to go. So moving on to Azurite abilities. Let's go ahead and take a look. Our Azurite Armor. You want to stack 3 Igneous Potential if at all possible. I like to go with 1 or 2 of the Lava Shocks here. The Igneous Potential is going to increase the damage of your Lava Bursts. The Lava Shock is going to increase the damage of your Earth Shocks, so you can get those big, juicy 150k crits, and I've seen them go higher on that in certain situations. Overwhelming Power, I love this. It increases your haste. 1 or 2 of them is great. All of the defensive abilities, it's kind of personal preference. This one heals you for 17,000. It's a little bit less in PvP at the beginning and the end of your Astral Shift. So if you pop Astral Shift, chances are you need the extra healing. Otherwise, you wouldn't have popped it, so that's great. So that is the talents. That's the PvP talents, and that is also the Azurite Armor that you're going to want to go with as well. Hopping into the essences, like I said, I play Conflict and Strife. I very, very seldom stray away from this, but Crucible of Flames is great. It gives you that heal as well. The dot, which some of your talents can proc off of that dot as well. Breath of the Dying is also an amazing ability. It's going to put out a lot of damage. I don't really see myself having an issue putting out damage though, which is why I like to go with Conflict and Strife. There is a Blood of the Enemy build. It's very RNG. Maybe we can talk about it later. You guys can let me know if you want to see it down in the comments. Moving on to the stat priority, it's going to be Versatility, Int, Crit, Haste, Mastery. Again, that is Versatility, Int, Critical Strike, Haste, and Mastery. The reason why you want to focus on versatility here, guys, is it's going to increase the damage of all your spells and abilities, your essences and your trinkets, your corruptions as well. So versatility stacks really well right now in 8.3 because so much damage is not coming from our toolkit. But more importantly, it's also going to help keep you alive, and as an Ele Shaman, that is the biggest part. You're not going to have a problem putting out damage. You are going to have a problem staying alive and being focused. Other than that, that's pretty much the Ele Shaman, guys. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button before you go. And I'm looking forward to putting out some more guides and getting as much out to you as I can. Take care, guys.